Welcome to the video. My name's Steven. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about the three types of people that I avoid, and you should probably avoid them too because these kind of people suck.
Yo, I just want to give this quick disclaimer, but I want to make it very clear that these are the types of people that I avoid, and this doesn't give you any right to be hateful towards these people or say mean things. Just because I put these people what they do, if you spot a person like this, just avoid them. Don't be mean to them or anything. Just avoid that person. Wish them the best and move on. I don't want it to be known that basically I'm saying to go spew hate towards these people. Do not be hateful to anybody. Just avoid these people.
And sorry if it's smoky right now. I just was using this candle. I don't know if you can see that. It's nasty. It's done. But yeah, I guess I burnt the shit out of this. So smoky as hell in here right now. And if you haven't been watching my recent videos, I've been staying away from the editing because truthfully, man, you can't pay attention. Then why watch? So that's the thing. Go scroll on TikTok. I'm not making content for you. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this. Basically, the first kind of person that we have is a sayer. And it's actually interesting because if you watch one of my previous videos, it is called The 5 Lessons I Learned in 2023, or I think it's probably The 5 Lessons You Should Know in 2024. I'll put a little tag up on the top. Rule number 2 or 1, honestly, might have been become a sayer. And the way that I was using the word sayer was when you say you're going to do something, do it, right? But I guess it makes more sense to be a doer, I guess, if you want to change it to that. So I used the word sayer, but not to contradict here. When I say sayer, I'm talking about somebody who says they're going to do something and doesn't. And there's actually 3 subtypes to this, and all of these have subtypes that I want to go into of people that we're talking about here. So let me get a different color marker so we understand where we're at. So the first type is the asshole, as I'd like to call it. And basically, asshole means this. I don't know if you ever had a conversation with somebody where maybe they're breaking up with their girlfriend, right? And they come to you and they're like, man, I really want to break up with this girl. I don't know what to do. And you're like, break up with her. And they're like, well, I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. There's all this other stuff. And then finally, at the end of the conversation, you guys both come to the same term that you're going to break up with each other. And then a week later, you see them again, except this person is still with that girl or still with that guy or still doing the same thing after you gave them advice not to do. So yeah, asshole, that's basically the term there. Is they always feel the need to come ask you for advice or help on something, and they never actually take the advice you give them. And so my basic rundown of that is don't waste my time. And I don't know, it's just I don't really want to have this conversation. They really just want to hear themselves talk is kind of the thing. That's why people are assholes, right? That's why I call it that, an asshole. So yeah, it's people just want to fucking hear themselves speak. And that's just not someone you want to be around because it's they're never going to take your advice. They're never going to listen to you. I've had this situation too before where someone's like, I really want to start a business, or I want to get into marketing, or I want to do XYZ. I'm like, yeah, you should totally do that. And then I basically give them all the tools they need to get started, and I tell them exactly what to do. And 6 months go by, and that same person, I see them somewhere out in public, and they're like, "Man, I really, want to start a company." Or I'll say to them, "So how's the business going? How's everything, coming along with that?" And they're like, "Oh man, well, I haven't gotten started." And actually, I've been meaning to ask you some questions. Is no, bro, I'm not trying to talk to you. Sorry, you had your chance. And you ruined it. You asked me, I'm not going to tell you the same thing that I said 6 months ago. I'm just going to save my breath. So that's the asshole. The second one, this isn't a word, but this is what I'm going to call it. I guess asshole isn't a word either, but intentionalist. And this is the exact opposite of the sayer that I was talking about in my other video. This is the kind of person that says they're going to do something and just outright doesn't do it every time. Right? They have good intentions, but they just don't act on them. This is the kind of person that says, "Oh, I'm going to go to the gym," and then doesn't go, or I'm going to start eating healthy and doesn't, or I'm going to start a business and doesn't. So it kind of fits in the same field as the asshole, except the only difference is these guys keep coming back. The asshole continues to come back and ask for advice. The intentionalist doesn't. They just don't do the thing. Like they're not asking for advice. They just don't. They always say they're going to do something. Like you can basically trade the word intentionalist out for capper. Um, but realistically, so there's the third one here is liar, right? This is an outright liar. So the difference between the intentionalist and the liar is the intentionalist means good. The liar is just fucking lying. Like that's kind of where we're at here. Is like this is the liar. Is the intentionalist or yeah, the last one is the liar. So for the first one we have the sayers, and this is the asshole, the intentionalist, and the liar. I'm gonna get different color pens. We're gonna go crazy with this. All right. So the second type of person you want to avoid is negative people. Right? These people are just negative all the time. All the time, very, very negative. And there's 3 subcategories to this one as well that I'm going to explain right now. And basically, this is the kind of person that just is negative. Well, let's go into the subcategories. So Robert Greene, in his book 48 Laws of Power, the 10th law is called infection, avoid the unhappy and unlucky. And that's kind of where I got some of the idea for the phrasing of this. But yes, unhappy and unlucky. So I don't necessarily believe in luck, but you kind of create your own luck. And people that just have this negative mood all the time, or things don't work out for me. I can't be around that. That's it. To me is like, I don't know, like there's so much opportunity, especially here in America. Like if you live in America, you should know there's a lot of opportunity in this land. That's what it's for. And it's interesting because a lot of times, like I see really like foreigners when they come in, immigrants, like they're super super productive and they work so hard, and it's because they know like how much they appreciate America, and they're always like a lot happier when they're here because they know the difference between our country and their country or other countries, right? There's so much opportunity here. Whereas I feel like most of the people that were born in the States, this is my opinion and it can change, and this might not be you. I was born in the States and I don't feel this way, but a lot of people feel privileged because they live here, in my opinion, based off what I've seen. And I just think that, yeah, I mean, like, there's opportunity, and just because you can watch TV and sit on the couch doesn't mean you should. So, unhappy people, these like symptoms, bro. Like, you see them around, they're like head down, very upset, always in their phone, really quiet, and you ask them a question and everything's just so negative. Like, the person that just automatically takes everything negative, like, you'll be like, yeah, man, I had a great summer. And then that guy will be like, my fish died over the summer. It's like, bro, why did no one was talking to you. You just ruined it. Like that kind of thing. Like someone that just gets super negative for no reason. It's like, there's no need for that kind of stuff, or like overreacting kind of fits into that too. Like just gets like super upset over something minuscule. That's, that's in there as well. Next right here, we have the haters. This goes in negative people as well. These are people that just find for whatever reason to like bash whatever the fuck you're doing. I don't know why people decide to do that. They're like D1 athletes for hating. Like they could have gone and signed to like a D1, like D1 haters. That's what me and my friend call them. D1 haters. There's certain people out there that are, you just know them. They're D1 haters. Like they just, every single chance they get, they find the need to hate on whatever it is that you do. Right. And that's just that's just not someone I feel like I can associate with, man. It's like you have to have a positive energy and you have to root for me. And if you're not rooting for me, I don't want you in my circle. That is what it is. Like if you're gonna make fun of me and say that I'm a liar and say stupid shit about what I do in my life, and or maybe you have someone like that that's just hating on whatever it is that you want to do, cut that person immediately. The reason why we get rid of these people is because the mind is easily influenced. So if someone says something to you like they're a hater, and then they look over to you and they're like, hey, bro, what you're doing is stupid. Well, now you have this weird in the back of your head where you just feel like, I don't know, you just hear that person maybe saying like, this is what you're doing is stupid, what you're doing. And it like, these negative people can influence your decisions, right? Because here's the thing, right? Your network is your net worth, or you're a sum of the 5 people you're around. I'm sure you've heard those before. And guess what? If all your friends are liars, what does that make you? Right? If all your friends are haters, what does that make you? So that's something to think about. All right, the last one on the negative types, and I'm not going to go too deep in this, but narcissist. And I don't think I spelled that right, but whatever. So the narcissist, the person that everything revolves around them, but they're only happy when they're getting appraisal. Is basically what I've gathered from the narcissist topic. Now I actually am doing a lot of research on narcissists, and I want to make a video about narcissism, informing like why narcissism and narcissistic people are so like manipulative, and why you should stay away from this kind of person. This also, I guess, you could put like a Machiavellianist in here too, but I don't feel like writing that word because I don't know how to spell it. So, but yeah, Machiavellianist kind of works in the same category, but I wouldn't really call that like a negative person. It's just not good. Like this is part of the dark triad, right? This Machiavellianist, and I think there's one other one, egotist or something like that. Psychopaths. Yeah, but this is kind of the area I'm going into with this. Like just people that are like really, really all up in their heads and all worried about themselves, and they have no like they don't care about other people, they don't care about you, they just care about whatever they want, and that's basically it. And I'd consider that a negative person because you're supposed to spread positivity in this world. That's why we're here, at least I think. And narcissists don't do that. So I'm not going to go too deep into that. You probably know what a narcissist is, but I'd like to explain more in another video. So I'll probably make something like that. If it's up, you can check it out, but it's not up as of right now. So the third kind of person, this comes from Andrew Tate, is the brokey, right? That's what Andrew Tate calls them. I'm going to actually explain what a brokey is right now. So a brokey is, first, we have a cheap person, right? So you can actually, so here's the thing about being broke. You can be rich and be a brokey. Like you can have a lot of money and be a brokey, right? So this is a cheap person. This is the kind of person that will like try to save $2 on some floss, or try to save, scrap, like get coupons, like it wastes of time, right? Or won't buy something because it's too expensive or whatever. I don't believe in that. That's my personal belief, and you can choose to believe whatever you want. That's your prerogative. But my thing is, like, I don't believe that looking for the cheapest option is always the best way to go. I think you should live in abundance, and that comes into the second category in here, which is scarce mindset. And so there's a little bit of a difference between cheap and scarce mindset, right? Like cheap is more along the lines of like we don't have the money to pay for this, right? I can't afford to pay for this. When in fact you could, right? You could like push all the chips in and do it. And it's always on like the dumbest thing too. It's like the people that walk around the house and like make sure all the lights are off because they don't want to spend an extra $15 on gas or electric. Like me personally, I don't really think that gas or electric or utility bills are like that expensive. Like I've never had it waver more than like $15-$20. And some people freak the fuck out about that. It's like, really, bro? I mean, it's utilities. Now, granted, I live in a home. Like if you live in or if you work in a shop, like a detailer shop, and you leave the lights on all the time, I'm sure the bill will go up a lot higher than me living here. But as far as like living at home, utilities, if you're tripping about that, that's kind of the cheap thing. Scarce is more like nothing good will ever happen to me. It's kind of like the unhappy and the unlucky. If you can tell, like a lot of these fill in together, right? They're all kind of the same. But the scarce mindset is like, I can't get more, right? This is the kind of person that will get like one job. Like say you're a car detailer and you get a ceramic coat job, and or like there's a person that's half interested, they'll like do everything they can to like reach out to that person, like, please bro, please buy my product, please, right? That's kind of the scarce mindset. When you look at it as like, okay, there's a lot of people out there, there's an abundance, there's a lot going on. That's another thing with business. There's a lot going on, and just assuming that nobody wants to buy your stuff because 15 people said no, that's the scarce mindset. Okay, it's something you don't want to be around. It's like just the all around, like, I can't do it. Like it's just like the unlucky and the unhappy. I can't do this, I can't do that, and that's just not someone that I like being around, and you shouldn't either. So the last one is habits. So like there are habits or brokey habits, right? Now let me explain this one. This one might hurt your feelings a little bit. So brokey, the opposite of that is, I guess you'd say, rich, but I don't like the word rich because I think it has negative connotations to it. I like the word successful, and me personally, I don't think success comes from money. I think success comes from whatever the fuck you think makes you successful, right? Like success is subjective, and some people don't believe they can be successful, and some people just aren't successful, right? So I think everyone has this part in their mind that they go to that, like, this is what you'll feel like when you're successful, right? Like I know that when I'm making $1 million a month, that might make me feel successful, or maybe less than that. Maybe it won't be that. Maybe it'll be 50 grand a month, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm successful. However, in order to become successful, you have to have good habits. You have to do things to get you there, right? So if I'm trying to make 50 grand a month, and that's one thing that makes me feel successful, as well as having a good relationship with God, and also having a strong body and a strong mind, right? So, and good relationships. If I'm going to church and I'm going to the gym and I'm working hard in my business and I'm doing things to make money, and I have good relationships with my customers and with my friends and family and the people that care about me that aren't these people. And finally, the last one, what I say, money. Oh yeah, I have decent enough money in the bank account, right? I will feel successful, right? However, what are the habits that get you there, right? Going to the gym, working hard, going to church, hanging out with the right crowd, being around like-minded people, right? That makes me feel successful. And to be honest, I feel successful. Now, I don't have 7 figures in the bank account, but still I feel successful because I'm doing the things that I want to do, right? It's my it's my version of success. Like I said, it's subjective, right? However, everyone has this part where they're like, this is what I have to do to become successful. And usually it's monetary, right? But if you're doing habits that aren't making you successful, and there's like also like objective successful habits, right? Like going to the gym. It's just hands down. You're like, the only thing that you have forever in this life is your body. The only thing you will have the whole entire, anyone can take all the money away from you. The only thing you'll have is your body and your mind. So if you aren't doing things to learn and to better your body, those, like, that's not good, right? That's not a successful habit. So there's a few habits that, like, you can just name off. You know what I'm talking about? Like these bad habits that people do: um, drugs, alcohol, porn, video games. Um, those are kind of the top ones I'm thinking of right now. But like you can see kind of where I'm going with this is like your habits, like your day to day routine is just like all you do is play video games and jack off. It's like that's brokey mentality. Because I guarantee you, with those habits, you have a scarce mindset and you act pretty cheap, and you're probably a hater for people that are trying to do things good, and you're probably unlucky, and you're probably an intentionalist, right? This is the person that's sitting in bed. This is on it. Like, you want to be real here. This is the fucking person I make videos for. I make videos for people who have this problem. Okay, because I've been there. I've been the guy sitting in bed all day and scrolling through TikTok and watching anime and eating junk food, and then saying, "Oh, one day I'll build a business. One day I'll go to the gym. One day I'll do something productive," and then I never did it. So if you want me to be real here, if you're that kind of person, I'm talking to you. If you're not that kind of person, stay away from these people. But if you are somewhere on this list, these are the kind of people I'm talking to you. Because guess what? I had a lot of these negative qualities. And I would say that, like, I don't know, like sometimes I do, like I have bad habits and like sometimes I'll be a little cheap, but like I'm not, I wouldn't call myself unhappy. And I've done everything I can to like ensure that I'm not narcissistic. So, I try to not be this kind of person. Maybe that's what you should do first. Instead of like going away from all these people, which it helps, by the way, to become not one of these people. But even then, like if you become not one of these people, you'll start to fall off with the other people anyway. So like if you have a problem where you just like are always bothering people and complaining about your problems, um, odds are probably your friends do the same thing too. When you stop doing that, you'll start recognizing it, and then you'll be like, "Oh shit, this guy does that. I need to get away." So I hope that helped you out. But yeah, if you're the kind of person that's like in bed all day and not doing anything, um, get up, because that's brokey mentality. So again, Sayer, negative, and brokies. These are the people I choose to stay away from. And if I have any of these qualities, um, I don't think I do, but obviously people can see better from the outside. So you're allowed to believe what I want, and then I can judge that on past results. So, if someone that I know is watching this and they're like, I think you're a liar, I can be like, I'm not a liar because I know based on past proof. And that's another thing too, is like you just know at the end of the day. It's like, I'm not one of these things because you know deep down inside who you are. Like I know I don't really fall into these categories. And I probably wouldn't have made this video if I did. I don't want to call myself out. Like I think I probably have like extensions, like to an extent I probably have maybe a view of these qualities. I'm not trying to be self-righteous. I'm just saying these are the people I try to stay away from and the person I try not to be. If you are a car detailer and you're looking for extra ceramic coat jobs every single month, click the link below and book an appointment in my calendar so that way we can speak a little bit and see how maybe I can help you out. And that's the only time I'm going to plug my shit in this video. Well, the video's over. So if you like the video, click subscribe and have a wonderful day.